Hi there. So I'm just sitting here and feel like I should go online. Although I didn't know what to say. I've been busy. I'm sorry, I mess around now, but my pants are like I have to. Never mind now. Hi, there is someone here. So I thought about. I have a little bit of a cold, but thought about talking about healing still. I wasn't in the mood to just pull cards for random people. Sometimes you just want to know somewhat who they are. No, not maybe who people are, but you know, I don't know. Just add to it like the next time and so on. It gets a little bit not boring, but yeah. Right now I feel a little bit fed up with cards for just for the moment. Maybe it's this Mercury retrograde that's getting to me. So I don't know. I just wanted to answer. I mean, yeah, I can ask questions as well if anyone feel like answering. So I'm messing around with some papers. Maybe I should speak softer because it's kind of. I don't know if I called it ASMR now. My channel is called that though. So everything I do mainly is about healing. So therefore, I felt this topic is a good one. But you can ask any questions if anyone is in here. So and also I teach many things, but one thing is Reiki, which is a very good thing to start with, and also quite excellent to keep doing. In many ways, it's very safe and efficient. So I just moved on to shamanic and other practices that where you focus in more on I don't know, both connections with other things around and so on, but also to direct the energy in a way and see it and understand it in a more clear way. You don't need to understand much actually to do Reiki. It's the symbols and the initiations make the universal life force flow where it needs to go. So you really don't have to do it yourself. You're just an empty vessel, which in itself can be pretty difficult to be. And I don't know, for you who don't know about Reiki, I'm sure there are those around doing pretty awesome. Maybe I should check those. Like ASMR Reiki sort of videos, but usually they are also mixed up with all kinds of things that may not be exactly the basic Reiki, but you can do that with kind of anything. I mean, you can mix it. It doesn't make a problem. I mean, it's no problem to also add it to other practices. So yeah, but as I've been taught, there are different. It have been spread in different directions. So it's similar, I guess, everywhere, but it's some divisions in it also from where you learned it, I guess. And the way that I learned it, there are 3 degrees, where the first one is the whole touching, holding hands on, which in itself is really healing. I mean, even if you do not have Reiki, everyone knows that. The efficiency of touch, the calmness that you can get from that. So I guess it's healing in itself. And then there are certain then positions that you do. I guess maybe I should do the symbols for myself now before anyone even enters, even if no one enters in here now to the chat. I guess some of those who used to pop in, they are now, there is someone here. They are not maybe awake at this time if they are not living in Sweden. So, anyways, I will do the symbols now. So I like send to this little video. I mean, the second degree then is about sending, where you actually can do, you can focus on anything actually, to be specific, but where you have to do hands-on for the first degree. So, but you can do both at the same time as well. When you have the second degree, you can both send and have hands-on, and you get the Reiki from both the outside and the inside. So, and the Reiki that you do hands-on comes like from the outside in, and the other distance healing comes from, it starts from the inside out. Yeah. So I guess I could do some specific healing to certain people if they pop up. Someone having problem with their lower back, or many people do have that. Symbolically, that is also connected to money, or having a lot of responsibility in that sense, and not sharing, having someone to share them that with. That's also another thing with, well, with energy and I guess growing in insight and awareness overall, that this is very much about also, I mean, it happens, I guess, by itself also, that you start to take responsibility for what you do. So, I mean, it won't take away if, for example, I keep eating crap. I will eventually, I can do as much Reiki as I want to, maybe to influence and hopefully my mind then, or my habits like such. But I mean, I'm responsible also for what I do. I can't like use it as a, I don't know, as, I don't know, you would go to church and make a confession and it goes away like that. I won't get rid of consequences like that. But I can wake up to the awareness of my own choice to not draw that to me more. Also, obviously, it can heal consequences, but still, you understand maybe what I mean. And also the power of the mind. That's very, very interesting. I've been sick myself pretty much. No, not much, but pretty heavily when I was. I've usually been healthy though, but and I've heard that from many, as well as this was the case for myself, that when they got really, really ill, they had this choice to like decide whether they wanted to go on or not, and when that decision is very strong to keep living and to really heal, then that gives such a power. All the systems of you like start to work together to bring healing. So even if it looks hopeless, anything can change from that. So yeah. So and also, as I said, I've done a lot of first degrees, and sometimes also, you know, where it comes from, the whole history of it and everything. It's said that you have to charge for it, and if you give it too freely, then people will not maybe really see the value of it or take it in as they as so it would benefit them more. So And I've seen that sometimes when it comes to that it's like as if it's worth nothing. You almost don't learn the symbols, and you just like shake your shoulders to it, but it is really, really valuable. So I've been more strict lately about whom I give it to. I mean, everyone. It's for everyone who wants it, but it's up to the one teaching which one you take on, so to speak, whom you feel it's that are ready for it, the different degrees. And the master degree, then the third, is when you yourself teach. So you get different symbols in each of these degrees then. Yeah. And what is wonderful about teaching it, I mean, that's very fun because first of all, you get questions you maybe never thought of and start to see it in a different way, as well as you get into the practice again. It's easy to forget, even though you know a practice that actually works. I mean, this probably goes for everything that you can do. Like, I don't know what kinds of meditation. It can go for eating in a specific way that you feel good from, or whatever, honestly. Yeah. Exercising, whatever. Yoga, I don't know, things you feel really good from, but you can easily like just forget that, wow, this was really efficient way to do things, or the way you plan things, or anything, and you just suddenly have dropped it without even maybe noticing it. So that's really good with teaching. You get back to it over and over again if you like lose track of it and just focus on other things. So yeah. And one of the things there are these 5, I'm not sure it's called like guidelines, but it's like affirmations that are suggested. And one of them is to do your work with honesty. And personally, I had for quite some time difficulty charging because I felt like everyone who needs it really should have it or should have access. And I still feel that, but still it needs to come from, I mean, even the asking for things needs to come from a right place, So, but to have that well-meaning thing, and that is about also when it comes to the shamanic stuff that I do. Personally, I mean, this I don't share with, I don't know anyone who actually thought of it this way. Before I did Munaki and these kinds of shamanic practices, I had kind of my own way of doing it. But even then, I felt like a mother to all things, Previously in traditional society, I mean, like nature, ancient traditions like such, I guess there were a little clan that they taught. Hi, someone. I don't know who you are, but I see there is someone coming in. Feel free to chat there if you can see the chat to the right there. Otherwise, feel free to keep listening. Anyway, so then where was I going with this then? Yeah, it's about this whole honesty of your work, and that even though I dislike someone, for example, personally, I can have all kinds of ideas, thoughts about someone, but when I go into this working mode, I just dismiss all my personal stuff. In the same way when I do mediumship work, I just don't I just step out of that kind of and focusing on the other person's healing from a maybe universal perspective, or like a Mother Earth perspective or something like that, where I'm there as a servant, as a bringing service to someone needing healing. So, but okay, I kind of demand a little bit respect or so on, though. But I dismiss my own personal little whatever ideas I have about someone, and look through my, I guess, divine eyes, but then with the soul's eyes, maybe. I mean, yeah, I have a different mission then, where I have to be not, I have to, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Not going personally in a way. So, and yeah, obviously it can heal any kinds of things. Hormones, such an awesome thing. I mean, healing is a fantastic topic overall, and as you may know, I also am a Ayurvedic. I almost said I have that channel too, but Ayurvedic Shakti. But I'm a Ayurvedic therapist too, where you can feel the pulse and yeah, you check other kinds of things, nails, tongue, all kinds of things, and also ask a bunch of. Oh, sorry. Wow. Oh no, I don't need help. Wow, what is? Why? Fuck. Oh, I need to stop this shite. How do I even stop it? Wow. Oh gosh. Oh god. Oh god. It's just I just forgot that the I'm sorry. I think this is not okay to upload now, right? I'm sorry about the sound also. Why did I forget that? The Netflix. Have you been drinking? No, I haven't. Yeah, well. Okay, gosh, that's really. And also, I thought I could press some kind of stop there, but I couldn't. Just anyway, I have to take down the whole page. Now it won't start again, hopefully. Wow. Oh, that was bad. Sorry. Wow, maybe interesting how that just popped up. Yeah. So, anyways, it could be good for anything, and I'm so interested both in the traditional healthcare. Like I have a nurse, and that I now teach in Reiki, for example, and all that knowledge, which is awesome as well. But the Ayurvedic perspective is more of a wholeness, and it's also you just have a different perspective on it, and they can complement each other very well. Actually, it doesn't have to be a conflict, but yeah, I understand the whole thing that you need to in some ways know when something is a scientific way you can measure it and have clear proof of things and so on that validates something in a different way than certain other things do, but they may be as efficient. Also, there is so much money into everything. You do know that, I guess. But I truly believe in the power of the mind as well. You know, Louise L. Hay, she have this. I think it's actually as a. You can find it as a audiobook, Heal Your Life. It's pretty worth it. I have never listened through it. I've seen it several times and thought I would, maybe I should. But I have the book, both in Swedish and English. And sometimes when I met people having troubles, there are sort of affirmations connected to certain areas of the body or problematic things. And I've suggested that I may try that, the affirmation. And I've seen miracles work through just those affirmations. Actually, people who have been having problems with certain physical things for years, with traditional healthcare not being able to help, and just after maybe days or weeks, they it's gone for good, like something they've struggled with. So I totally believe that. Thing is, all these things can be directed in the other way, so that you kind of shame someone as if they just need to think differently, or affirm something. And that's not what I mean. But we have a huge impact on ourselves, and not the least lifestyle. In Ayurveda, it's very much food is your medicine or your poison, and as well as yoga is the therapy, maybe. But yoga is part of Ayurveda, if you didn't know. And but still, when it comes to all both the food industry and medicines, and this Western healthcare that is connected very much to those companies, it's very muddled by different aims. Sometimes I think, actually, since there is so much to win to keep people sick or even make them sick, I think actually, I mean, you wish you could think that everyone means so well. I do not obviously think that, sadly. I know it's good that I'm not that naive still, but it's also obvious, actually. It's nothing you need to check for long to understand. Have you watched this on now again Netflix? I recently saw this What the Health. Interesting. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Even if you wouldn't agree with all of it, it says something that is. I think many people don't think about that, and all the added stuff to medications, that you also need other medications to balance and so on, in to use those more natural products and so on, or milder ways. Sometimes maybe they won't work as quickly or harshly, let's say, but they they can heal deeply. And I'm not saying that always is the best or better, but sometimes it truly is. But it's not funded in the way, or commercialized as those other things, obviously, for reasons that are also understandable. But it's horrible, though, that and it's very cynical to profit on people continuing being sick, which obviously the food industry and all lots of stuff around that does. But obviously, each of us have our own responsibility for what we do with ourselves and so on, and also to learn more about and see through things and to share it with others. So, but anyways, you can also heal animals. I just now, before I did this, that and it healed my. Oh, maybe I have the wrong. Now I don't even have the. Now I have it up. I mean, you could have been here. I didn't even check. I didn't have the page up. Yeah. Yeah, I sat and did some healing to my cat. I think she must have eaten something she threw up this morning. They do that sometimes, but it was like a kind of a sharp straw, maybe from my broom, I don't know. Anyways, but she seems playful and everything, so I think she's fine. But she liked to sit here and get healing. I seldom do that to her, though, but she wanted it, so. And animals and also children and so on, they are very they kind of they're so in tune with their instinct, I guess, or so they know exactly what they want and how much, and so on. So she was fine with it after a little bit, but I saw that she really enjoyed it for a little while. Yeah. Anyways, also, I mean, how we can influence ourselves with, if you keep, many people stress around and wonder why they have migraines, or they like push themselves too hard, but hopefully, like, it's like we don't look at what we do. We hope that someone will just come and rescue us from our own sick lifestyle, and we need to see through that ourselves somehow. Yeah. But also when it comes to, which I like also with Ayurveda, is that it goes through even moods and so on without like making it so personal. It's all these elements, ether or akasha, air, fire, water, and earth. How these influence our bodies, but also our mind and our emotions and so on. And so if a person is very worried, for example, and have excess vata, there are pretty simple measures to balance vata in that person, to calm their worry. And you don't have to go through like psychotherapy to do those things. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to also do that maybe sometimes, but sometimes it's just the balance of the elements actually. So yeah, if anyone was here, I would ask you what your experiences are. Maybe you can write down below anyways, or if you have questions afterwards, if anyone even have the energy to listen to this one afterwards. I wanted to do this last night, but then there was this guy who didn't feel good, so actually it was fun, but I spent the whole night up chatting with that person until 3. So I mean, it made me also cheerful, so it was good, but I also wanted to bring some light into the darkness there, or sadness. So anyways, I thought about doing this then, but then I got too tired. I actually was almost doing it 3 at night, but then I felt like this is not smart, and it was better to sleep some hours. But I feel a little bit lost here. I started today also. I used to not be up at that time. So also when it comes to things like people have all kinds of minor or greater things that are obstacles or problematic, and pregnancies is one of these things that are, it's like sometimes it's very mysterious, but it seems like just relaxation. I'm not saying that's the case all the time. Sometimes it's just something specific physically or so, but how much that actually influences, to just give ourselves some time and space to pause and breathe out. And I think that is what also ASMR and these kinds of things do to me, especially when people talk. Oh, I want to go back in time when people did other kinds of ASMR, and I don't even do great ones because I'm a little bit too impatient to actually focus too much on the sounds and all that. But I keep those who do in very high regard. But now it's all this fluttering with the fingers and repeating just mouth sounds. It's not that it's bad. It's just so uninteresting to me. So even though maybe I get some small tingles, it's just boring. I mean, it's just crap, I think. Sorry, everyone who do that. I mean, obviously there is a lot of people appreciating it because they have bunches of subscribers and everything. I guess it's awesome for many people, so that's good. Not to me though. I want to hear someone talk, and I get a lot of tingles and so on listening to. There was this girl. What was her name now? Natalia Ali. I don't know. I have to put a link to her beneath. Her way of talking. I just stumbled upon some witchy video she had. Gives me ASMR. I don't think she'd think about it, or I don't know, but just her way of talking in itself. And sometimes I stumble upon these channels where they, to me, it really doesn't matter totally what they talk about. Yeah, to some extent, but generally it's just about how they speak more so. So that is good that I can find those, and even in documentaries, I've talked about this before. But I think that is also very healing. These things that goes on with the meridians. Then, so, anyways, what you do, I do it a little bit differently because I don't hire space. I have this place close by where I can use to teach and do other like mediumship readings and stuff, and tarot readings and whatnot. But usually there is like a 2-day course for each of these grades then, and you take some time in between. Depends for how long then. But if you want to go further, you can just stop at one level, and if that's what you wanted, you don't have to like do all 3 of them. But I do it a little bit different, so I divide it in several times, maybe 4 hours each time or so on. Yeah, I have it a little bit more flexible like that. But anyways, yeah, it's really fun to teach, and it's really fun to rediscover certain things that is easy to forget. Yeah, and also, I mean, to combine these things, to me, they are like a whole. I see it from different perspectives, but it's like a whole. Both the mediumship things and everything adds to the other things. I've many times also on Facebook worked with Reiki and given messages to people, like done like 15 minutes to each. I could do shorter, but then I wanted to be sure who I tune into, so it's not to the next person popping up or staying with the former one. Sometimes that happened even if I had 15 minutes. But it's very fun to then feel how the energy shifts and how totally different images pop up when you come to the next. And so it actually develops your intuitive and psychic gifts as well to keep doing these things. And it's healing in itself, both the awareness of energy overall and connection with the spirit world, not the least. So, yeah. So it's very fun. I don't know if you know what I've done, but I've also been studying. I got very ill though, meanwhile, but I studied Waldorf teacher, and there we also it's very much about this whole the golden ratio and things that are so marvelous and fascinating about how nature is, and how everything develops and all that. I can't even express it, but you start to see the magic in everything, like trees, and yeah, you see it. How can I say? I can't say it. I can't really describe it, but this, you can see this universal life force like in everything. And also, not I don't only mean like see it in like auras and stuff, but that too maybe, but just in how everything develops, how nature works. And that's so beautiful, how it reflects in everything, like our eyes, everything. Mainly, yeah. Anyways, so everything goes hand in hand to me. And also when it comes to Ayurveda, that came through those rishis that were like saints, you could say, but they got downloaded information to them. That's how Ayurveda came to be. So this knowledge of life and what it means, and so even though much of it is now proven also scientifically, it still is like 5,000 years old, and it was received in that sense, So yeah. And also just today, I talked about. I mentioned that on this channel as well, which sounds pretty weird, I guess. I mean, things to me sound so normal nowadays that I've forgotten that they sound pretty weird to other people. Like, and also when it comes to religions, many people are. I guess I'm fluid in many ways, but when it comes to set, boundaries on things, usually, I mean, the reality is like one. You can describe it from different angles, but it's not like dividable even, I guess. Although there are varieties within the whole. I mean, how do I really mean? For example, the fact that I met Jesus, I mentioned that there was one person asking me today, but because I did a psychic reading for someone, it was really interesting also that it was right before this 29th of September, actually, is Michael's Day, apparently, or something, at least here. I didn't know that. Archangel Michael used to be connected to that date, and Raphael and Gabriel. And those were three of the angels that I connected to, and also Yofiel, at this reading I did for someone. Usually I don't connect with angels, and I didn't know it was like, I didn't know that they were specifically like celebrated this date. But anyways, never mind. But I also saw Jesus once talking about this, how we don't have to frame things. You do not have to frame things. Listen to that again. No, but you don't have to, joy and freedom exist, happiness and freedom exist. We don't have to put it into a box where we kind of describe where the limits of it is. That's what fear does. We don't have to do that. Well, he said a few things to me, anyways. And apparently, a nun that I know. But anyways, the one asking me today was someone asking that, how come you like do this with angels and then you do like witchcraft? And I'm like, what? I mean, ceremonial magicians usually work with angels, I guess, many times anyway. So I don't think that's so odd. But anyways, I don't much though. But when I do mediumship readings, it's more like what's around that person. I connect to whatever communicates to them, and so on. Yeah, but anyways, how to me, yeah, there is not much difference. I work in the shamanic tradition and in the Ayurveda and everything, and the witchy, like with this wheel of the year and the energies of the universe and nature and so on. And I find it very natural, and also that it goes so much hand in hand, everything. And although the expressions, for example, in certain religions have been also like hijacked or like patched over some older traditions and so on, I think it's easy sometimes to see through that layer. Yeah. Anyways, but it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it does matter to some extent. But I mean, this whole story about Mithras, those three came and to the sun god there The Zoroasters. Which were they? I don't even know. But those three wise men follow the star to this, is it like stable where they found Mithras and being born. All this. It's the same stories. And people fight and even kill others because of that they have the wrong opinion. That's odd though. Yeah, but anyways, the nun there that I have been in touch with for long, she said that most people see Jesus. I don't know, because they have kind of in these all of these dogmatic religions and such as well, there is a mysterious layer that I connect to, and as well as I do in Christianity, and I never felt the need to let go of that. Although on the surface level, it seems to really clash in some ways. But anyway, she said that those who see him, so to speak, usually see him once. I mean, not usually. They, as she said, he only shows himself once to a person, and so I'm truly happy he did. It was an afternoon, Saturday, 12th of June, 2004. And afterwards, I also know that he knew what I was going to meet soon. I didn't know though that at that time, but I learned that he tried to prepare me a little bit for some things that were going to happen. Anyways, also the chakras. I mean, I've always been drawn to. I've worked with witches, as I mentioned, that I admire, so I keep them even in higher regard. I always did, but way more so now. I mean, I adore them. Like, they are my heroes. I mean, wow. I really feel they are like the closest to my heart. Anyways, for the gifts they shared with me also, but also their personalities and ways of being and doing things. I just feel so much for them. Anyways, they worked specifically with the Celtic traditions of Veruca, and I was all over the place. And that's usually also, but also very drawn to the Eastern stuff. Like, I work with Kuan Yin, but also Karnonos, but also the Indian stuff that later I was into the Ayurveda as well, and also the Andean or the South American ways of monarchy and so on. So I've been like all over the place. But the chakras, as I've learned, they are usually talked about in both Ayurveda and yoga and so on. But that's a good way to learn to know energy, though. Even though they that with those witches I had to do with, they kept it try to keep it like clear, I guess, from other influences at the time. I don't know how they work now, but yeah, I feel like it's a good way to raise your awareness of energies, which also very much have to do with healing. I think that the healing comes from outside in, let's say, from the changing the blueprint of the energy, like in the aura field, and then it influences the other layers, and eventually also the physical, the densest layer. So I don't think you can have an aura or an energy in unbalance and imbalanced energy and still be healthy. I mean, that will constantly create the same imbalance over and over again. So you have to kind of correct that as well as as you can obviously work on the physical level as well, but yeah. But in the Munaiki tradition, I mix all of this thing when I talk, which is very confusing, I understand, for other people who have not been. So I think if you start with any kind of healing form, or then it's good to know which is which before you maybe can see that they correlate so much that it's the similarities is like, I mean, almost exact, I feel. Anyways, yeah. In Munaki, they are called navis or eyes, the chakras. They are described a little bit differently, but pretty similar. And people have talked about them in other traditions, calling them various things, I would assume, because it's the energy field, but I feel that the expressions of navis or eyes is truly a awesome one, because you can actually see, you can perceive through the chakras. You perceive different layers through the different chakras. And oftentimes when I tune into in psychic work, not always, I can just think about a person or hold on to the thing. That is the easiest way, I guess, like psychometry. That happens instantly then, so I can get information. But otherwise, I just think about tuning into their energy system. And usually when I come to the top of my head, if I start with the root chakra and tune into to their different chakras, when I come to the top of the head, then the information start flow about them. So that's how it goes. And then I close it down, obviously, so I don't keep that open. That's not a good thing. Yeah, so. But it's easy to forget that you can do so many things. I mean, I easily forget, even though I have all these amazing, marvelous tools that are awesome just by themselves. But it's easy not to use them. Just think, start like live in your mind and make yourself crazy by worrying, instead of actually use all the tools and the techniques that you know of, And right now, there is also another difficulty. There is someone I know that I heard recently is not in a good shape at all, that have this irritable bowel syndrome, I guess it's called. And from the perspective of knowing a lot of things, I'm not saying that I know all, but I have healed a lot myself as well, and I've seen other people being healed. I mean, it doesn't have to do with only this, but many things, where you clearly see certain things that would help, but they are not at a place where they even are ready to try, because it's outside what some sort of doctor would say or so on. And you just have to see them, be in pain, and sometimes even, yeah, not even survive it. So, but what can you do? You can't push yourself on someone else, even on yourself, when you are not at a place where you really are ready to grasp, or like do what you need to do to feel good. So I guess the best thing you can do for everyone is to bring yourself to peace. I mean, to find that in yourself. That is also one of those. There was also one of the persons that I now teach in Reiki, in the second degree now. She asked about this whole. It's described oftentimes in Reiki, these 5 ways of today I will not be angry, and stuff like that, and or worry or so on. And she asked about that, because usually many of us know that it's better to focus on the positives. I mean, instead of what not to do or not to think or whatever, feel. So I guess some people change that though. So to be at peace is a good thing to focus on. Then, yeah. And you spread that. If you connect to your own stability and peace, you heal by just doing that. And also to honor both. I mean, it's not to be blind to stuff that have been going on or to injustices or so on, but to honor those who have gone before you and your parents and your teachers um, and everything, life itself. Everything sustains you. You are not like an island in this, you know. And to remind yourself of that is a really good thing. Yeah. Yeah. Well. So, and when you work with these chakras, which I do in various ways, done in different traditions, but it's the same energy you work, so whatever. I guess also it's as many ways to do stuff as there are people, and certain ways suit certain people better, work better for some people, or it's just a matter of taste, like a taste of food or whatever. And so I think it's a good thing that there are variations. Problem is when you think your way is the only way, or you know, or start to judge other people's ways. But as I said, I don't mean that you should be blinded by. There are also traditions that are very manipulative and you know, yeah, all kinds of stuff. We use people for various reasons and so on. But when you work with the chakras, which you also do in Reiki actually, because for each of these initiations, you go through a process where you like clean or you kind of upgrade the vibe in the chakras so that more energy can flow through them, higher energy can flow through them. So, and in that process, some things happen with yourself, obviously, as well. It's not always. Something you discover immediately, though. I just have to see. Verse. Oh dear. Never mind. Gosh. Yeah. So, but yeah. And talking about pains and stuff, I usually think about that. This song "Stiff Necked Fools." Oh, and you have carried a lot of things, and you get that. But I am a little bit stubborn and stiff-necked, yes, in my ways. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's good. I mean, I wanted to just check in here, but also I wanted to talk about these things, also to remind myself. And as I said, if you have any questions regarding these kinds of things, just feel free to check in later and write a question, and I will come back to it if I am able to answer, or if you want to share your experience. And that's another thing with now I should know this by heart, but I don't. But when it comes to Ayurveda, also there is a different way of seeing health. It's like that all your inner systems or fluids and everything is in balance, and the doshas, as they are called, those elements are in balance. The individual unique balance that you need, as well as the soul level of feeling happy and content. Being in bliss actually is a sign of health, and otherwise something is like off. Luckily, I'm usually actually in that state. So, but back to the Reiki now. Also, when it comes to the master, that's something you don't need if you don't want to teach others. if you don't feel called to do that, if you don't just want to use it, it's enough with those 2 first degrees. So, yeah. Yeah. I think it's so beneficial, and I wish there were this. Maybe I have to visualize that for that to start. I wish there was this the center of maybe in this new. We have this building in this town, Skellefteå, Sweden. This not the world, but maybe Europe's or some large tree house built, where well, they can have a lot of things. I wish there were this also actually a spa of sorts or something where you actually also have Reiki in that professional environment. One of my, you could say colleagues, but she had an Ayurveda center here. She also actually worked with Reiki. I'm not sure she officially had that as one of her services. I guess she had. I don't know. But when I asked for it, I got it anyway. So, but it's really really good because you don't have to do anything or talk about anything. You just have to, like, not space out, but just be there and feel someone holding their hands for a few minutes in different parts of your body. And as I said, I think that would be healing even to those who are not initiated in Reiki. I mean, if you would do it to others, who I think it would be a healing experience and a relaxing one, anyway. So, if you usually move your hands through over different parts. I mean, you don't move them; you hold them still. But when you move one hand at a time, so you don't lose connection, and then hold them still for a few minutes on next place, or you feel when the energy starts, when it stops flowing as frequent or as much. So this universal energy, which is an intelligent energy. It's the love energy. Actually, it's the same as Munaki. It's love energy, Reiki. So yeah. So, but as a healer, also I had this natural thing. I know I keep repeating myself because I've talked about this many times, and this is my favorite interest. That's why, not myself and like bragging about whatever, but I had this as a calling, I guess, from forever, since even as when I grew up, I could feel sometimes. I mean, I learned to understand it after a while when it was super obvious. But I probably would, I guess, anyways, that I had it long before then, that I could feel others' pain, But I probably thought it was mine for quite some time before I saw clear evidence of someone close being hurt or my friends giving birth or whatever, and I felt it at the same time and so on, like spontaneously heal them. So yeah, but I should use it more for myself. I know for many things, like just the relaxing part of it as well. And yeah, I mean, many people. I mean, if you feel low and so on, yeah, I mean, the thought process is one thing, but also everything in the body, and it can really balance that part as well, the emotional part. So yeah. Yeah, and usually, even when it comes to Reiki, there is a little space of talk as well, where you describe some things, and so. And I think that is needed also to see your own place in this, whatever the situation or whatever you're in, where those habits go. There is someone like, I need to check this now. What is he doing? This guy. Yeah, he's walking one. A little cutie there. He was super cute, actually. Anyways, I might. So now I've been carrying quite heavy things and have this thing in my shoulders. I should do some healing to myself. And also in Ayurveda there is something called marma puncture, which is similar to acupressure or acupuncture. I mean the meridians, as in ASMR. Therefore, I also think these have a similar effect as such things. Yeah. And also when it comes to sleeping patterns, although I didn't give a crap about sleeping this night much, but the body is not a machine, but it's it responds well to regularity and to follow the rhythms of the nature itself, you know. Therefore, I also I honor nature. I mean, I keep that in. I mean, I think it's divine, and have it in high regard. And I think we are it. We're not. We are part of nature. So, but it becomes a meditation. All these things, you know. Yeah, and also just things like trusting yourself, you know. And there was one person I did Reiki to many times, actually a quite close one. I'm usually this person that falls asleep instantly. I don't even have to almost put the head on my pillow. I sleep instantly. I've never had any problems with sleeping. And this other person that is close also have that same pattern. So every time I did that, this person was like snoring and sleeping, but it works anyway. Works well anyway. But some people also need that. I mean, when they can relax, getting a Reiki treatment, or even when I did Marma and so on, people have fell asleep, and that's super great. I mean, to get that pause, you know, many take on so much responsibilities, you know, and I think it's actually, I mean, it's quite clear when you look at it. I think it's actually needed for the world peace. I mean, this sounds maybe out there, but I mean, look at someone being imbalanced, but also someone having pain, or just eating irregular, or getting super irritated, or when you look around just close by, you see that if we learn to live more in balance with ourselves and everything, I think everything would be more peaceful overall. We wouldn't have to go into those conflicts all the time. Yeah, I need to say that to myself as well. And also to hold on the feet. It's very grounding and very good. All these various places of the body. I mean, the universal energy when you do Reiki goes wherever it is needed, whether it's in the physical or other levels or dimensions of our being, but also the different parts have certain are connected to certain, as I said, maybe also thought patterns, but also certain things, other things, symbolically, you could say. And that can be interesting to understand if someone say that they have this problem with their knees. Maybe they are not sure where to go, or so on. Yeah. But in my case, when it comes to level 3, I think it's mostly about the attitude. I mean, since you can choose then, so to speak, who you want to share it with, to me, I think it's mostly that I need to know that it comes like from the heart. That this is just not something maybe you don't want to use, or maybe you just have a like it's an ego boost, or just to charge a lot for, or whatever. I mean, it needs to. I mean, I need to get the impression. I mean, that it comes from the heart. That it's an authentic will to heal, you know, and to share that. So yeah. So that's what the master grade is. It's not above someone else. It's just that you have those. When it comes to Reiki, it's just about having those symbols and it's being initiated into that. Yeah. Children obviously are healer themselves, but they are also very open to it if you do it to them, so to speak, for them. Yeah. I mean, in a natural way, then maybe if they watch whatever, you can just hold a hand or whatever. Yeah. So there are many initiations, and I keep repeating myself a lot now, but I see that in myself, and I see that a lot, obviously, around me because that mirrors me. But when it comes to certain things, I mean, I know a lot of people around that know so much, but they don't use it themselves on themselves. They are like question marks, but they have all these tools that they could use and just you know they have their own answer, but they do not use it, and I can really see that in myself as well. But yeah, maybe after some after we've been circling around those same patterns of pain over and over and over, we may be ready to just use the things we know already. And also we have it in our, I mean, intrinsic like wisdom. We all have a soul and the things we have gained there as well. So yeah, we all have our answers anyways, but also those who have been taught in all kinds of practices that are balancing and healing, but we don't use it. So I guess it's also, I mean, it doesn't feel good to say, but in a way, I think it's about not wanting to take responsibility. I think it's about wanting to put that on to someone else, ask them how to solve something, but we already know, we know it the best usually as well. Therefore, another thing that I use that I call alchemy therapy, it's a kind of a therapy then. It's a talk therapy, which it's not my favorite thing to do that though. Although I like to talk, I don't think it's the most healing way to go about things usually. But when you talk, I think that's a better way than most, because if you have the ability to follow the other person, they will get to their best answers, and they will be so perfectly fit to them that you could never come up with anything better, a method, and also you don't know exactly where they want to go, their exact goal. And so that's something I truly love as well. Yeah. And also when it comes to back pains, obviously it's about support. It supports us. Some things are just so obvious. You don't have to learn them. You just kind of know if you think about it. What could this stand for? What could be the symbolic meaning of this? And sometimes you just sense it, even if it's not the exact thing that is said in a book, let's say, or something, or in this Heal Your Life, as I said, or some other. You just feel what it is, what the body is signaling, But it's about, yeah, it's a thing changing your lifestyle. And also, there was some, what was it I started to see the other day? I didn't continue. I just recently have this sweet friend that I kind of borrow Netflix from. She's so sweet. Anyway, so maybe it wasn't even there, but it was somewhere. This whole thing that you have heard about. It's not our weakness that we are scared of. It is our strength. So I think maybe that's a clue to all that, because we would obviously want to feel good, right? So why do we hesitate to take the responsibility for it? Why do we cop out from that sometimes? We kind of search and search for what we already know. And maybe we also push ourselves further, down a spiral into whatever depression. I'm not saying that applies to anyone listening, but I mean, in certain cases where we are just so desperate, so we know that the change must come, that we long for. Maybe we can't be ready until we are at a certain stage. I don't know. But I do think that working with these things and focusing on spiritual things, I think that can ease the path. We don't have to come to that critical stage, maybe. Or maybe we can do it with more ease. To let go, of the things we need to let go of. Yeah. The phoenix, the flames thing. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know what to say. But I could do some healing for some people here sometime. Maybe connected to the Reiki. I don't know what to do here. Do you have any clue, any of you? Because that is always good, and it's easy to do at a distance as well. And it won't harm anyone. I mean, it won't influence, since it goes where it's mostly needed. And you don't bring your energy to the other person or their energy to you. But usually, you can do it to several people at the same time. But I would try that. I've talked about this before too. And it really was scary how sick I got. But I mean, it was just still briefly for some hours, and then I was well. But still, I don't want to go through that again. And usually I think people don't. I guess maybe this comes along with me being such a open person overall. Or I don't know what actually. But since then I only do one at a time. So, and also when it comes to those having psychiatric problems and so on, I think it's safe to do, but I think you have to still be gentle. I mean, you have to you have to be gentle whatever you do, so you don't push through certain barriers that are up for some whatever reason. I'm not saying it's dangerous. I just say that sometimes people themselves who don't really know for sure how fragile they may be, and to take it. I mean, be careful in those cases, anyways. Just gradually, a little bit at a time, as well as if someone have been, I mean, extremely ill and still suffer pretty much from that and heal, to just check in a bit how it influences. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it can be super overwhelming with a lot of energy, changing things at once. It can be scary even if it's not harmful. So yeah, and obviously when it comes to addictions, I should do that. I guess I hold on so much to like the sugars, so I don't really want to heal it. Why? I've never done that. How stupid is that? I've been like doing Reiki since I was, let's see, it's like so many years, like 20, 30 years. No, not 30 exactly, but I mean, struggling about how to get rid of it. Oh, sorry. I mean, and I haven't even tried this thing that I actually have seen so much evidence working. That's stupid. I must do that now. It's good that I talk about it, but there is a resistance in me that cling to this, I guess, safety or the whatever food have been to me. I really don't want to even take that step. Yeah. But anyways, the rest of just relaxing and not doing anything is worthwhile, even if you don't have Reiki. I think so. Yeah. And if you haven't tried a Reiki treatment, I hope you will, even a hands-on one. I mean, it varies who you go to, obviously, how they are, but I think you will, if you allow yourself to just not analyze it too much and just be there. It will be rejuvenating for you, I think. And obviously, if you get initiated, you can do it for yourself. Sisters are doing it for themselves, as they say. So, yeah. And I thought about that also, to maybe initiate at a distance, because obviously you can do that. Although I don't know many who do, but it's clear that you can do, yeah, everything you can do at a distance. Energy is like universe. I mean, it's out of time and space in that sense. So, yeah. Well, but as I said, with Reiki, it's not. It doesn't cause any harm. So it's safe to use, even if you don't have a lot of knowledge about anatomy or whatever like that. But then you can combine it still, like say, zone therapy or whatever. Then there are those who end their treatment. They keep whatever they do. Let's say zone therapy then, and then they end it with a little bit of Reiki at the end or so, just for the integration or the relaxation part of just being still. So, but yeah, I don't have a place right now for that. Although I could use the place where I guess I could, where I do the other stuff. But yeah, but I have a few massage benches here. It takes up some space, but I don't have a space to work with it here. So we will see later on. Maybe things will open up so that I can do that also more frequently. I long to do that more. Also the marma. With those in Ayurveda, when you do marma, you use certain fingers for certain energies, and you also use different points, like on the meridians, for various doshas, as well as different oils for each of those so-called sub-doshas, which the scents are awesome. And yeah, and these that I work with, they have been, I think it's like 700 years. I mean, for a long time. There is a family in Nepal who does those, and they do them while chanting mantras, and they are like magical. Anyways, yeah. So, but I need some space to do that more. But also that you can actually send Reiki to those positive affirmations of things. That's another thing that I don't do, although I know you can do it. I do many other things. I mean, you don't have to use all kinds of things if you know different kinds of techniques. But it's, as I said, it's easy like to forget that you can do this simple thing, just. And also there is one of the things that I love the most when I got Reiki, oftentimes from others, is when they hold their hands over your ears, or even like cup their hands under your head when you lay down, like a bowl, so you can rest your head like in that. And that's like fabulous, I feel. It gives a certain, I don't know, whatever effect it is. But yeah. Massage can be relaxing too, but it's still active. It's not like you don't get that same peace. As well as some people use soft background music. I can like that too if it's very low volume, because it feels so much higher when you relax deeply. The volume feels louder. But I've been asked that also sometimes when I've gotten Reiki from others, and the to me it have been disturbing. I wanted the total peace and not a lot of sense or so on either. Just being without distractions. And I think that's a specific form of relaxation and healing that goes deeper than if you constantly massage certain muscles and so on. Meanwhile, yeah. And yeah, I mentioned that. But when it comes to crown chakra, it's very important to think that you also stop the flow of energy there if you should like tune into that. And even if people are like deadly ill, they know it's fatal that they will pass on. Still, Reiki can help soothe and relax them on this journey, as well as all the other things that I do. You know, the shamanic healings and so on. Yeah, the stillness is really underrated. And yeah, I try to get back to that, and it really helps those super sweet students I have now, that they really long for meditation. I mean, it varies a little bit how I teach it depending on what people ask for, but the obviously the initiations and the symbols are always there and so on, but and the basics. But when it comes to meditations, not everyone is ready to like, I mean, do that or take that on as a, even if it's a minor practice, still it can be a lot of resistance to it. So, and then I feel like I shouldn't give assignments, let's say, or like suggestions to students that I don't do myself. So then I have to also myself uh, get back to some practices, and just to keep, I mean, to do 5 minutes just sitting. I mean, I love to do that. I love to just be, but still to get past that resistance, it took like 6 days before I even enjoyed it. I did all kinds of stuff and I was busy all the time. Just like, although I took those minutes, but it was disturbing to me. I was really, really struggling first to get back to that. And now I really enjoy it again, but I didn't know that I had such a resistance to it, that I was so unused to doing things that wouldn't like do something. It's something else to be still for someone else's sake, and that then it have a purpose. It seems like, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, and I've heard that some say that you shouldn't do it on broken legs. I don't know why. You don't have to hold exactly there, I guess, but it goes to wherever it's needed. You shouldn't probably hold your hands on something that is broken. Anyway, and also Ayurvedically speaking, chronic diseases aren't chronic. You can always change and influence things. That's also we can get stuck in those mindsets as well. It's easy to see when it comes to sports or whatever that there is a limit, and suddenly someone crosses that limit, and then it's possible, and everyone else also suddenly are able to, not everyone else, obviously, those at the top, but still are able to do that, which was totally impossible just recently. And I think that is the same for healing as well. We decide that this can't change. We have to stay in this disease. Yeah. There is so much interesting things. And just doing like relaxation practices, like listening to a visualization or so on, just relaxing your jaws. Awesome. But as I said, Reiki is good for everyone, even babies. It won't harm them in any way. It's life energy that is bringing good stuff, and it stops flowing when the cup is filled. You could say, it's actually Reiki. I mean, it's Reiki, but it's actually love. That was what I was going to say, and it's nothing harmful in it. But maybe I should start to write some affirmations to send Reiki to. That would be one new thing that I know forever. I don't think maybe one time I've done it or something. How weird. But I've done other affirmations and such a lot, but not like also when I had like ulcers in the tummy and so on. I was really sick. Those I did for a long time affirmations for as well, and so. But I didn't send Reiki to them, although I had that at the time as well. I just kind of forgot. Anyways. No one is in here, but that's kind of relaxing as well when it comes to relaxation. And and also I'm not like shunning or like saying that aromatherapy or anything like that is bad. Sometimes it actually can add to the atmosphere and relaxation. It's up to each person to what they feel. But usually when it comes to Reiki, it's not like accomplish anything really. The energy does the work. So I mean, of course, a relaxing environment is a good thing, but it's the energy that does it, and the calmer it is, the less other impressions and so on, the easier it is to oftentimes relax anyway. So now I long for it a lot, to start doing practices with people again when it comes to this and the massages and such. And also when it comes to colors, I mean, just color healing is really a strong thing as well. Just to brighten the color, if you see colors within and so on, to make them brighter, how that influences the chakras, but also, you can use that in many other ways, but it's really beneficial. And you start to see that more and more clearly also when you work with these things, even in your world overall. You understand that certain frequencies of energy have a certain, when it comes to sounds or colors or everything, have a certain frequency that influence things in a certain way, I don't know if you've heard about the history and so on of Reiki. I don't have to go through that. I just want to sit here and talk for hours and hours. No. But there was this Buddhist monk, I guess it was, Usui Mikao, who, he found various symbols in ancient holy texts and went meditating on a holy mountain, obviously, like always. No, I'm just kidding. But then he received these there are various stories about this, but anyways, he understood how to use these symbols and how to be able to bring this ability to others. When he came back after this meditation, he realized that he could heal others, and then he also understood how he could transmit this to others so that they could do the same. And what triggered this from the beginning was that he was a teacher and taught people in these ancient texts about healing and so on. But the students started to ask him why. Well, if it says we can do it, why can't we do it? Like, and he was so bothered, so he stopped teaching and started searching for the answer to this, and found it then. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in Reiki, obviously I can teach a lot of things at a distance also here, but I would like to know who you are then. So maybe know who you are at Facebook or something. I mean, you can fake things there, obviously, but yeah. But all kinds of ailments can be helped with this. So it's as a first step, I think that's a really good thing, because it's as I said, it's not harmful. It's very efficient, and at the same time, although efficient, it's mild, you could say. It's not always though, but usually it is. So yeah, I think it's like, if you keep learning like witchcraft or other like shamanic techniques and so on, it's like added education, because it's the same life energy you work with, obviously, but then you start to work with your specific intent, and you start to see what you do with the energy and such like that, which you don't have to do with the Reiki, although you can, but you don't direct it. It still goes where it needs to go. So, but yeah, and also being grateful in itself is one of those things that are one of those 5 things to remind yourself of daily. The healing of that is also underrated, I think. There is so much all the time that we could be grateful for, or appreciate, and sometimes we just, out of habit, focus on things that lower our vibe, that we are disturbed by. It's so easy to just slip onto that. I do it many times, so yeah. Yeah. Wow. So no, if anyone was here, I could have done distance healing, but I will for the next time, I think. If anyone wanted, then you shouldn't do it if someone isn't aware and wanted it themselves. So, but yeah, I think medicine could be also good. I'm sorry, I bashed it. Is that the word? Quite, but I mean that's really good at times, obviously. But sometimes you could do something alternatively, which would heal as well. But also, when you do have to, or need to, or benefit from medicines like those traditional ones, then it could also help you the way you absorb it, and the way you well get rid of the toxins that may come with them and so on. So it could always help to bring Reiki into the scene as well. Yeah. Oh, I just get so inspired myself just thinking about this. And yoga was one thing also I did for a while. I mean, I could really, I mean, there are different ways to do yoga, as someone said recently that I met. And it's like a lifestyle, an attitude as well, or presence. But yeah, I could really need the physical part of the yoga as well. Oh, I want to use this so much. I've always felt that. It also makes me so happy. It feels like inner massage. like it happens so good things in the body, and then I just do something else with my time. Yeah. Oh, wow. And also, I met recently another person that he doesn't think you have a soul. How can you even not think that? I don't understand that, actually. Wow, I want to talk about that with that person more. Or like hear how maybe, I mean, this person, obviously, I think everyone do have one, but just to be so unaware of it, maybe uninterested in the concept, I guess, maybe, or something. Yeah, I don't know. And also, there is a lot of people that I know who have problems in their joints. That's like more or less every other person do have those problems. I mean, even younger persons is this. That's disturbing. I mean, that's a painful condition, even if it comes and goes and it's better and worse and so. But I mean, what's that a sign of? What do you think? Or things like high blood pressure and stuff. It's very common in all ages, I guess. Not maybe all, but yeah. It's a stressful world. Even all the impulses we get from the phones and all kinds of things, all the information constantly. We are not built for it. We need relationships, and we need that to all there is. Not only human friends like or so on, but that too. But you know, we truly need some time out from that world. I need it, but you get drawn in. I know, and the quietness here you won't get it. Yeah, that's healing in itself, I think. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and it seems also, I guess, to those who aren't aware of working with energy, as if it's just like make believe. It's That's the thing. When you start to work with it and you try it, then you get the response. Then you get the proof in your experience, and others as well. If you work with other people and they have the same experience, and so I think that if everyone kind of had that, we would really heal a lot of things for each other and the whole world. Yeah, I have to start with myself. I know that. That's what you need to do. So, yeah, I have some things to get on with here, I guess. Yeah. And also, when you do distance healing, even though it goes where it needs to go, you still focus in on where you hold. So you can and not the least breathing, the importance of that, and how that the healing effect, or the opposite, on ourselves, how that connects us. That is like yoga in itself. But anyways, and I think you can get a lot of focus from being online too much. I'm sure of it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, what was I going to say? It was something about, I've forgotten. Yeah. Anyways, it really strengthens the immune system, and that's also another thing. When those things that have been going on now for a few years, it's like you almost get aggressive responses when you talk about the trust in your immune system. It's like you have done something really, really unlawful. I don't know, harmed others really, and that's in itself should be a warning to others. I mean, those who respond that way should wonder why they do that. How can we distrust that? Yeah, we trust in everything outside, nothing inside, and not there. Yeah, that have really gone wrong, you know. Yeah. So, and yeah, as I said, it opens up these abilities to some degree or another more than before, is what I can assure. But then it depends on both interest and so and like your pre constitution or so, um, how quick access you have to those things and how much you will open it up. Depends on like who you are, but you will get a stronger sense of your intuition and all that, obviously, if you work with energy overall. Unless you do it you could work with it in ways that are confusing as well. But when you work with Reiki, I mean, that is, yeah. Oh, there's so much now I want to do. Maybe I should have this affirmation of, no, I won't even mention it. It was silly. About my flat tummy and stuff. Well, it's not silly, but yeah, you know. And also, when you do, if you do those healing methods to cleanse yourself, I mean, help the cleansing process, both energetically and just symbolically as well. Drinking lots of water and so. Well, as I began, touch, I think, is one of the most healing things you can do. Also, when you hold on the ankles, is that the English word for it? That also feels so good when you lay down and someone hold their hands like there. I don't know, to me that is. I don't know if there's something there that I need especially, but yeah. Yeah. But to me, I mean, I think there are symbols that are powerful, really. I get totally very influenced by symbols, even if I didn't know them before. I can become really dizzy when I'm close to certain symbols, and so on. But also, I think the divine, if you call it that, is in everything, actually. That everything is holy. It depends on us where we are at. If we are at a lower vibe, we wouldn't see it or experience that. So, yeah, also our emotions, that is. Yeah. Anyways, are you tired of me now? I gotta stop after 2 hours. No one is here. Anyways, yeah. Please feel free to. You can ask anything, obviously, not only related to this. Yeah. And we have our inner sun within. When it also comes to Muneki, we work a lot with fire as the element of spirit, or yeah, the spark of life, of energy, you know, and consciousness, awakening. Yeah. But also, although Reiki is very still, and the other types of meditations often are very still, you can also do meditation in movement when you, yeah, like Tai Chi is one of those, I guess. But also just walking very slowly, small steps, maybe have a mantra meanwhile, and so on. I used that a lot when I was pretty sick, so I couldn't do a lot, but that I did, and yeah, it was really beneficial as well. Yeah. And you can easily discover where your blockages is especially when someone else hold, even if you just try to be or whatever. But if you have some sort of things that need to be resolved at a certain area, you will feel a little bit discomfort when that therapist hold their hands to a certain area. Many people have had experiences of like, I know certain people having fear of close spaces, or like they have maybe been close to drowning or been underwater or stuff like that. Can have a really hard problem when you hold around. You don't hold close around the throat, but even just being close by, although you don't hold onto the throat, even that can be pretty discomforting to some people. So for them to relax in it, you do it as comfortable as you can for them. Obviously, you don't hold it in a way that feels horrible in some way, but they will also see how that heals the tension that they have, or maybe have been very unaware of before. So, and even when it comes to, by the way, childbirth and so on, it can help. Meanwhile, I haven't been given birth though, so maybe I shouldn't talk, but I've heard it. So yeah, yeah, and many people are very interested in these things, but it's, as I see it, they are natural. I mean, when it comes to these psychic and mediumship and so on abilities, but we all have that more or less opened, and we also have different, I guess, callings in this life, where what we are here to do, our dharma, but our destiny, but also I think all of this is very natural, and yeah, and I try to. I mean, it's very fun to talk to others, because I meet that also a lot. That when I meet certain people, they instantly think when I come wherever, and they think I just, if they talk about something, they think I know, that I see through whatever is there. Sometimes it happens, but usually I have to tune into a certain, or open myself up. Otherwise, I'm in this regular world with everyone else pretty, ignorant in a way. I mean, I can't go around being aware of everything all the time. I have to open up to it or tune into it. But sometimes things pop up spontaneously. If it's really important, I think that my guides in the spirit world and so on will push through and make me notice, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I will have to end, I guess, now. There is another thing I did for quite some time. I did some. No, it was not long when you compare it with certain people, but I'm sorry about this. I had to bump with the cord here. Anyways, I did some Zen. I was very into Zen Buddhism for a while, or Buddhism overall, Tibetan Buddhism, mostly, I guess, because it's have these more shamanic practices in it that I felt very close to. And I went to this temple in Gothenburg where those Tibetan Buddhists sat, and for a long, long time I always I had my like this band, whatever, what is it called? Yeah, like a rosary around my wrist, the hand from but eventually the thread just popped. I still have the beads though. Maybe I should put it on again. I love that. I love that so much. I kept it for years and years. But anyways, I felt so connected to that tradition, and also I was so inspired and drawn to both Tao, but also Zen Buddhism. And I was sitting in Zazen for like, I'm sure that it was like half a year at least, every morning and night. And I was so solid and so peaceful. But that is one of the things that I stopped doing. I think I was bored, actually. I was like, I had been stressed and in sort of confusion and so on. I thought that these all the witchy things I did, they were so active and in a way not demanding, and also I could choose how I worked and everything, but still, I felt that they were. I just needed some peace, and I could have done those same practices within. I mean, there are peaceful practices within witchy things as well. Everything is not like doing active magic all the time or something, or it's about the same thing, balance and all. But also embracing your personal ego, actually, to as I guess William Blake says, eternity is in love with the creatures of time, to actually embrace that, and not only like divide ourselves from our creative abilities, to actually be creators, truly. Anyways, I felt that I needed so much peace, so I went into that for a while, and it was good. And I thought that, wow, this is actually what I need. It was like not thinking, just breathing. I counted the breath from the beginning and was sitting in this certain position and so on, half closed eyes, just looking into the wall. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just totally loved it. And I also realized how it made certain people who maybe had been able to pull me in this or that direction, realized even just seeing me, maybe because I was have a more straight back, or I don't know why, but I saw that they like almost jumped back. I mean, they reacted that my energy was so it was so solid and so balanced also. It was really lovely. But then again, I mean, to not think, to just like let things pass by. Whatever I saw a lot of things then too, and so on, but just ignore. I mean, yeah, just sat there, not ignored, but like detached, and just witnessed, yeah. And I think I was very inspired by working with Guan Yin also. I had a very loving perspective. It was not like cold or just cut off or anything. It was a very peaceful place, filled with love, but in a love that wouldn't like be upsetting, or Anyways, so whatever. Yeah, I would have to take some water now. So after a while, I realized that I felt that all the time when I stumbled on certain things, techniques, or let's say religions of sorts or whatever, that wow, like, but it's not that I had to dismiss the previous one actually to work in a different way. I mean, I have never dismissed anything that was before. Maybe I've thought about it sometime, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, well, never mind. But then I realized that, wow, when things weren't all that chaotic in my life overall, then I really longed for activity again, like to dive into this physical, sensual world, and work it, so to speak. And that's what I've been doing since. No, but I really need that balance better though, because it's easy to be totally engulfed by it, like it pulls you so much, so you forget about that peace that you also have at the same time. So it's good that I do some of these practices, so I remind myself, and whatever balance anyone want, in their life. I guess that's a personal choice. It differs what we need. I think someone like me who is very active in my mind, I really need, and I really totally enjoy those just still moments. It's like it's so nourishing. I mean, also when I sleep, I'm really active in my sleep. I see a lot of things, and usually I see advice to people, and I see things that will happen later, and all kinds of things. And also I can influence my dreams while I'm dreaming. If sometimes, I mean, I can probably maybe do it all the time, but I'm kind of have this, I guess, philosophy that I like to see what happens. I like to let things flow and let the universe like show what it can do. Sort of, I don't know. Instead of taking the wheels, what do you say now? Well, steering it myself all the time. I mean, both things can be inspiring and wonderful, but yeah, I like to follow the flow of things as well. So, but it's active and nonetheless in whatever way I do it at night as well. It's very very active, and I'm never bored. I've never been bored. Maybe I have been bored once or something, but I don't think. And I'm almost always happy and blissful, especially when I'm alone. And I've always been like that also since I was a kid. The more alone I am, the happier I am. That's usually the case. Yeah. There can be a transition period if I've been around people a lot and then I suddenly find myself by myself. I can I can be a little bit not disoriented, but before I find entertainment, I mean ways to entertain myself, which I usually find very quickly because I have such a rich inner life as well. But also that's where that's how I balance myself. You know, I really love to be with other people as well, but my bliss is generally found. Yeah, well, it depends. I guess it's the same thing there. It's the balance between the two. I wouldn't want to be without others as well. I mean, yeah. But I have that. Oh, sorry, my tummy. I need to eat something. But I've been, yeah, I've been more so very, very easily happy by myself, always. So, and sometimes pretty sort of bored with others if they do things or talk about things that are really uninteresting to me. That can be a little bit disturbing, but yeah, I can cope for a while with that too. But yeah. And so now we're going to eat some squash, zucchini. I will do some kind of zucchini spaghetti. Since I saw this documentary, What the Health, I've been vegetarian for quite some time, although I've added fish sometimes, but this is many, many years. But I have not eaten healthy, even though. But I'm very inspired to maybe not like 100% all in, maybe, because what is that even? I mean, every time you do something like that, you kind of stumble, I guess. No, I don't know, but I want to try vegan lifestyle because I have felt when I see the periods of my life where I have felt best. I'm not saying it's best for anyone else, maybe, but it was appalling to see that what the health thing, as well as I've recognized that I feel so awesome and so much better in all ways if I eat vegan food. But the reason I've done it before is just because I was allergic or reacted very bad to those kinds of foods, so I couldn't eat them. It was more like that. But so now, anyways, I will take some basils and stuff like mishmash and make some little zucchini spaghetti sort of kind of thing. Yeah, I don't need to eat like raw food though. But this becomes like, no, this is, I will warm the other stuff like a little bit, yeah. So, anyways, I will stop now. If anyone listens to this afterwards, share your thoughts. Feel free to share whatever, and I appreciate it a lot. I know it's boring that I don't have a video for now. I don't have anything to film with. If anyone wants to give me something to film with, I would love to do so. Something that you could like put it, I mean, I don't want to film with a computer itself, but something you could just put whatever it's called, USB, into the computer and upload it like that. I actually have a camera. This is or I don't have it here. I will have it soon. It's those outdoorsy when you want to film wildlife, like if you put it on a tree or something, I don't know, and if some bear or tiger walks by, I don't know, then you will capture it on film. Then. But or elk or whatever, or moose. No. Yeah. Anyways, or lynx. No, stop now. But I don't think it's a really good quality of in the. I mean, we will see. I will get that anyway, and I will try because then you have that memory card kind of that you. Yeah. Anyways, do you understand? Yeah. But if you want me to do videos, I need your help economically or otherwise. If you send me some, you who know who I am, if you send me a sort of easy, workable camera sort of thing that I could use because I'm not super technical. So, right. Anyways, otherwise I will have to keep doing this until I fix that in some way or another. But I long to do that. So also, yeah, maybe I have to do some Reiki for that affirmation. So everything has its benefits, I think. So I think this is good for me and maybe for you also now. So then, hopefully. Well, take care, and I hope we stumble upon each other next time I check in here. And well, I hope we talk soon. Bye for now.